Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority.
8:07 Wednesday morning here in Washington, D.C. Gang's all here. Brian Neiman, Brian Wilson. Wilson will be gone tomorrow, though, headed to South Carolina.
I'll be reporting live tomorrow morning on this broadcast from Columbia, South Carolina.
Of course, Mary Catherine is here. Pleased to be joined by Tucker Carlson, editor-in-chief of the Daily Caller. That thing's on the internet, those interwebs.
Yeah.
Morning, Tucker. How are you?
Good morning. You can't find it in the newspaper box.
You can't. So we were talking this morning about SOPA, which stands for Stop Online Piracy Act, and also there's the PIPA. I guess that's in the Senate. So
the Senate version, yeah.
All right, so you're an internet guy. I mean, you make your money off the internet.
Yeah.
How concerned are you about SOPA?
Very concerned. Actually, I just moderated a panel at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas last week of congressmen on this question. If you're interested in understanding why SOPA is a threat to internet freedom, listen to Darrell Issa. I'm not saying this is this is actually not a partisan issue. There are Republicans and Democrats on both sides. This is a Republican-sponsored bill, actually.
Right. Yep.
With a lot of Democratic co-sponsors. Issa is the single most articulate opponent of this. And he makes the point that, look, piracy is a huge problem. It hurts American businesses in tangible ways every day. But there are ways to stop it that don't include forcing American companies to censor the internet, and that's exactly what SOPA does. Here, this is the basic question, okay? Do the members of Congress voting on this understand enough about how the internet works to regulate it in this manner? And the answer, emphatically, is no. You're not going to find a member of Congress who says, we really get how the internet operates, so we're comfortable doing. No, they have no clue, and most people don't, and that's okay. But don't wade into things that you don't fully understand, because the unintended consequences are apt to be profound. I don't think this is going anywhere. There are a lot of powerful forces behind it. Hollywood, most notably, the movie and music industries. A lot of drug companies are concerned about piracy. They're on board as well. A lot of forces, but you've got a lot of creative content providers, powerful ones, that are opposed to it. Wikipedia is going to go dark.
Oh, yeah, they are. Well, let me ask you this, because I heard from the other side, the people who support the bill. They say that all this would do, the laws are already here. Companies inside the United States, and I guess including the Daily Caller, already have to adhere to these rules. All we are doing with SOPA is just extending it to outside of the United States, and trying to protect companies from, rogue people, or maybe even countries in China,
right,
India, and, other Asian countries. From your studying on it, is that accurate?
Well, look, the germ of the counter-argument is contained in their argument. The laws are already on the books. If a company is engaging in piracy, the U.S. government has the means to go after that company. The problem is this law would basically create a blacklist of sites that Americans would not be able to see. And that's a precedent I'm not sure you want to start. And moreover, by the way, this is where you get to, without being boring about it, but in one sentence, this is where you get to the point where, you really understand that the members voting on this don't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody with any technological sophistication can go around this. Just create a new IP address, right?
It just causes new problems instead of actually fixing it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you mentioned unintended consequences, and this is the thing that I think is worth exploring a little further. That is, many times Congress passes a bill and it becomes the law of the land, and then there are these unintended consequences because they didn't really understand what they were doing, and everybody goes, well, I didn't really mean for that to happen. Is that your greatest fear, that there are all these things that they haven't thought through clearly will come to pass?
Of course. Basically anything that Congress seeks to make cheaper through subsidies becomes far more expensive.
Yeah.
That's just one example of the unintended but inevitable consequences of legislation. I'm not saying you should never pass laws. I'm just saying, take 3 steps back. Is the internet working pretty well? Yes. Is pretty much unlimited freedom one of the keys to its success? Yes. Is it a massive creator of jobs in this country? Of course it is. Do you want to tamper with it, in a dramatic way without fully understanding what might happen? No. That's insane.
It reminds me, Tucker, of the discussion about the health care bill where conservatives could see the unintended consequences and go, look, this is going to lead to some bad outcomes. And liberals would say, well, it doesn't say in the bill that they're going to have bad outcomes.
Right.
And it's like, well, yeah.
When Congress attempts to mandate positive outcomes, you know, like this law will actually change human nature. This law will force good things to happen, and of course that's not the way the world works at all. No, I mean, look, there are dangerous and scary things about the internet. There's no question about it. But on par, I would say it's a force for good, and I mean economic good, in addition to other kinds of good, right? So, I don't know, boy, tread lightly.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about South Carolina. Newt Bigfooting on Santorum saying, listen, buddy, you should get out of the race so that I can take all your voters and beat Romney. Fair or foul?
This is one of those lines, like, did I say that out loud? Did my internal dialogue just become public? I don't think Santorum's gonna, and I think he already has decided that, you know, this is not a compelling argument. He's gonna stay in the race. And the truth is, there's no consensus. I mean, you know, this group of evangelicals met this weekend in Texas, evangelical leaders, James Dobson among them, and apparently decided to back Santorum, and yet a lot of grassroots conservatives, Tea Party folks, are foursquare behind Newt. So there's really no single option to Romney, and that, of course, is the problem.
Do you think it's over if Romney wins South Carolina, or is it already basically over?
It's hard to see how it's not. On the other hand, you know, it was hard to see how Hillary Clinton got elected senator. It was hard to see, you know, it's any, like, shocking development is always hard to see by definition. So, you know, who knows? There are a lot of people who don't want Mitt Romney. I think this massive drop of Romney Oppo today online, as we've got it up on the Daily Caller this morning, basically the opposition research book, I think compiled by the McCain people in 2008, is now available online, and it's devastating. I mean, there's just no way around it. It really, really hurts. And if you're a conservative and you read some of this stuff, your toes are going to curl. As much as you want to beat Obama, as much as you think Romney may be the guy to do it, this will give you pause. And it's like, you never know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. That's why these guys are still in the race. They're not totally insane. Like, there is a possibility someone other than Romney becomes the nominee.
Yeah, it is possible, but it's beginning to look hard. I mean, the folks who like Romney, you call them establishment Republicans. It seems to me the guys that like Gingrich, people who like Gingrich, just sort of like, yeah, I just like him because he likes to raise hell, and I'm mad, and I like that. And then you got Santorum, and a lot of the evangelicals are sort of enamored with his candidacy. Perry hasn't caught fire, and of course, Paul's people are Paul's people.
Right. I think that's a perfectly correct analysis. I mean, people